a popular radio host with a promising future.
This was somebody who was vibrant, energetic, ambitious, and had accomplished quite a bit in her young life.
Gunned down in cold blood.
Point blank, shot her in the head. All crime scenes tell a story. So that old saying, "Oh baby, I love you to death," take it literally.
A quest for justice.
He wanted to obliterate any evidence that was in the car. It was definitely a whodunit for the police.
Very few killers actually ever tell the full truth, but most will reveal enough.
Would take some divine intervention.
There are just some cases that certainly God wants solved, and solved quickly. Sometimes it takes that magical phone call.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Expose takes us to Houston, Texas. It was here in this sprawling city that a successful radio show host was found savagely shot to death. As police pieced together the troubling clues, a grim theory of how the crime unfolded came into focus. Those concerns only deepened when it became clear that catching the cold-blooded killer wouldn't be easy. July 3rd, it was a sweltering morning when two witnesses called the police department.
They saw the body of a black female that had been dumped in a ditch along a road across from Jones High School.
When first responders arrived, it was unclear how the victim had died, but detectives found a trail of blood coming from the roadway.
There was some blood evidence that was on the road itself, indicating that the murder did not happen in the ditch. And the murder happened at a different location. It looked as though the body had been dragged from the side of the road down this little gully or this ditch into the water.
It was a heartbreaking scene, and detectives were frustrated by the lack of clues left behind.
There was no personal belongings like a purse or a wallet that identified her at all.
It's always helpful when you know who your victim is, because one of the things you want to do is start putting together that person's life. Well, that was very difficult in this case because we didn't know who we had. Who was this person?
The medical examiner provided answers to how the victim had been killed.
She had a gunshot wound to the right side of her head. We knew it was a close-range gunshot wound, that she had just been blatantly shot in the head.
There was nothing at the scene to indicate it had been a sexually motivated attack.
We were able to fairly quickly rule out any kind of evidence of sexual assault in this case.
Detectives scanned the nearby buildings.
With the high school being right there, we were hoping to see some video footage, knowing that the high schools have video cameras.
As they closely watched the surveillance footage from the night before, headlights came into view.
The video shows one car traveling southbound, and it stops, and it's a small sedan.
So could you see anybody getting out of the vehicle?
There's a figure that gets out, and what's significant here, it's only one figure, one person. It appears to be a male. It gets out, goes to the opposite side of the vehicle, and on this video you see what we believe to be a male pulling out this body and dragging it just as if it's a sack of potatoes, and dragging it around the vehicle, down the ditch.
It was a chilling moment for every investigator.
It's an indication that whoever was doing this had no regard for this person that they were dragging, to discard somebody as if they were a piece of trash.
Fingerprints from the DMV database revealed the gut-wrenching truth. The victim was 31-year-old Kumba Sesay.
This was somebody's daughter. This was somebody's sister. This was somebody's friend. We now had a story to tell. The story of Kumba Sesay.
So did you have any idea of who would have wanted to kill such a driven and successful young woman?
We didn't know. Was this a stranger assault?
Police theorized her murder could have been the result of a carjacking gone terribly wrong. And a bolo, be on the lookout, was immediately issued for her vehicle. As detectives launched an intense investigation to find Kumba Sesay's killer, they learned the highly motivated 31-year-old had been working as the host of an internet radio show and was on a path to success.
This is somebody who became a radio personality, who would have her own talk show. She was also a model. This is somebody that was beautiful, that was accomplished, that was intelligent, that was smart, that was ambitious and very driven.
Kumba's entire family was crushed. The caring young woman who meant so much to all of them had been taken in a savage act of violence.
Kumba was a woman who had dreams and aspirations, who wanted to succeed, and was on her way to doing that.
Kumba's family told police her brand new car was nowhere to be found.
She had just purchased a new car, which was a dark blue Volkswagen Bug.
They were asking, where is her car? Where's Kumba's car?
Police theorized her murder could have been the result of a carjacking gone terribly wrong. And a bolo, be on the lookout, was immediately issued for her vehicle.
We didn't know. Was this a stranger assault?
Meanwhile, interviews with Kumba's friends revealed she had recently ended a tumultuous relationship with her boyfriend, Gabriel. And just days before her murder, Gabriel had argued with Kumba over money.
So not only do you have a relationship that has gone awry and that has gone bad, you also have a conflict in that relationship that deals with money. And it's not just 20, 30 bucks. It's an amount of money that's significant. And they have this disagreement about this money.
Gabriel was brought to the station for an interrogation.
When Gabriel was asked whether or not he was responsible or had been involved in any way with Kumba's murder, he was adamantly denying any involvement.
Detectives turned up the pressure, searching for any holes in his story.
Where was Gabriel at the time of the murder? Or certainly at the time that the body was being dumped?
But witnesses quickly verified he had been at a house party miles away from the crime scene on the night of Kumba's murder.
He's alibied out. There is absolutely no physical way that Gabriel could have been physically present.
The setback only ramped up police's efforts. They asked the public for assistance with the case.
Kumba's picture was everywhere.
Police dug deeper into Kumba's co-workers.
Let's go back and dissect her employment relationships. What's happening at the workplace? Was there something else that was going on in Kumba's life? What else was Kumba struggling with?
Because of Kumba's high-profile job, she was known as a local celebrity.
Kumba is this popular radio show host. She's this model, this beautiful model. So she's exposed to hundreds, thousands of people at any given time. And that kind of public exposure, she's going to have her admirers.
So you must have thought it might be possible that one of her admirers committed the attack.
So one of the things we were thinking was perhaps it's somebody who has been calling into the radio show. Perhaps it's somebody who's been sending her messages. Perhaps it's a fan.
Detectives worked overtime searching Kumba's work computer for any indication that somebody had been stalking her. Meanwhile, detectives scouring the area for her vehicle located it on the other side of town.
It had been abandoned and it had been burned.
Forensic examiners searched the burned-out Volkswagen Bug for clues.
There was no evidence, and if there was, the fire destroyed it.
So did you believe that's where she could have been murdered, inside her car?
The car is the location where she had been shot and killed, and by burning it up, he disposed of any DNA evidence that might have been found inside. He wanted to obliterate any evidence that was in the car.
They found security cameras located on a nearby building. So talk me through what you saw in the surveillance footage.
In this video, you have another sedan that pulls up. You have Kumba's car that also pulls up. You have a male that gets out, and he seems to be putting something on the car, running around the car. And then, as he steps away from the car, there's a huge flash. It virtually exploded in a burst of flames.
Detectives had just witnessed the killer setting fire to Kumba's car. And as police continued questioning Kumba's co-workers, they developed a promising lead.
We quickly learned there was another man, another person who has worked their way into Kumba's life.
Detectives on the hunt for Kumba Sesay's killer had located security footage of the perpetrator bringing her body to the crime scene and setting fire to her car. As detectives intensified their investigation into Kumba's work associates, interviews revealed she had been having trouble with a former coworker.
We quickly learned of a name, and the name was Leroy Stutes. And we learned that Leroy was a sort of co-host that Kumba would bring on to the air.
When investigators looked into his criminal history, it revealed a sinister past Stutes had kept hidden from his coworkers.
What's Leroy's background? He spent over 2 decades in prison. What's the charge? Murder. So here we have somebody that's in a relationship, or at least a work relationship, with Kumba. He spent over 2 decades in prison for murder.
Detectives dug deeper into his story.
We quickly find that Leroy, he liked being on air. He liked that status. He liked that he was with this sharp woman in Kumba. And then we come to find out that it was perhaps a little bit more than just a work relationship, that it was a romantic relationship.
But on the air, Leroy Stutes had made some inappropriate comments, and Kumba's boss had decided to let him go.
He was very adamant, rude, disrespectful to people who would call in.
Police say Stutes revealed his explosive temper when he was fired.
Leroy got upset at the manager, got upset at Kumba.
But detectives didn't have any evidence to connect him to the crime. And then a critical tip came in.
There are some cases that it doesn't matter the detective's talents. There are just some cases that certainly God wants solved, and solved quickly. And in this case, sometimes it takes that magical phone call.
And who made that call?
The magical phone call in this case was from a tipster named Daryl.
Daryl said on the night of Kumba's murder, Leroy Stutes had called him in a panic and revealed he had killed Kumba in a rage-fueled attack while driving in a car. And that Leroy insisted that Daryl help him dispose of Kumba's body.
He needed help, but not just asking for help. Leroy threatened him. Leroy threatened to kill him if he didn't help him right then.
Leroy had left the boots he had worn on the night of Kumba's murder in Daryl's possession.
They were the same size shoe that Leroy would wear, and there was blood droplets on the toe of the boot.
And what were the results when the lab examined the boots?
Sure enough, it confirmed that the blood that were on these boots matched Kumba Sesay.
A picture of the killer had finally come into focus.
This was a huge piece of physical evidence that we had against Leroy Stutes. How else did Kumba's blood end up on Leroy's boots?
And there was more. Interview with Leroy Stutes' daughter revealed he had coaxed her into helping him dispose of Kumba's car.
She revealed that her father got in touch with her, asked her to follow him, meet him, and she picked him up and gave him a ride to go to the location where the vehicle was burned.
When Detective Brian Harris brought Leroy Stutes to the station, Harris was braced for an uphill battle.
Knowing that he had been to prison and served over 2 decades in prison, I thought that this was going to be a challenge. Hi, hey, Leroy. I'm Brian. This is Mike. You did something really, really bad, and you know that I've been doing this game a long time, so I'm not going to waste your time, okay? Because I believe all those people that told me that you're responsible for Kumba's death. What happened on that weekend of July 4th weekend?
I basically was at home all day. She was with her friends all day.
How'd you get those scratches on your face?
I think me and my sister was coming in the house in the dark, and I failed to get my face on the stool.
Leroy Stutes was confronted with the evidence they had against him.
We decided to lay out the facts of the case, everything that pointed to Leroy. We took pieces of paper, laid them out on the floor, called them stepping stones, and how all the stepping stones led them to Leroy. We have your boots with the blood on. How do we explain that? So let's look at what we have here. Well, first of all, we got Kumba's body, DNA, all kinds of stuff. We have her car that we found. We have somebody that loves you that admits that they took you to that car. So we got that. We have your boots. What else do we have here? The video from Jones High School. Jones High School. Now that's just some of what we have. Okay? And look where it leads us. Right to you. Okay? Now, we're here talking to you because you're the only one that killed her.
Did you think at that point he was going to confess to the crime?
I wish I could say that after doing this, that Leroy lowered his head and came up and told the truth. That didn't happen.
I think y'all really know I didn't do this. You're talking to the wrong person if I cheat Kumba.
How would you describe a man like Leroy Stutes?
Leroy Stutes was a sociopath, somebody who had no emotions about the human life that they took.
43-year-old Leroy Stutes was convicted of first-degree murder for gunning Kumba Sesay down in cold blood. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. And now, it's time for today's Safety Spotlight. Kumba Sesay was on her way to radio stardom when a colleague with a history of violence viciously murdered her. This tragic case highlights just how important it is to maximize safety in the workplace. To help reduce your employees' risk of violence, employers should consider requiring in-depth criminal background checks on all prospective employees. And when terminating any worker, especially one with a known propensity for violence, consider having security escort them from the building. To additionally reduce risk of violent retaliation, ensure that the former employee has turned in any badge or key that allows them access to the workplace. Encourage employees to report any concerns or unusual behavior, and of course, call your local police department to report a suspicious person, vehicle, or activity in or near your workplace. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.